Hello, friends, and welcome back to Stories About Entitled People. Let's start with the story in which a teenager shut down his boss's business. You'll love it. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Don't pay me? Okay. So this happened a few months ago, around November 2018. I was working at a small cafe as a kitchen porter, basically washed dishes and helped out every so often in the kitchen. Anyway, I was supposed to be paid a week in hand, week after I get paid. One week I didn't get paid and asked my boss what was happening, and he just told me to bear with him as he had to do something quickly. I complied and he asked me to cut up some chicken and vegetables while he had to quickly pop out. I go to the kitchen, open the fridge that was supposed to be for chicken only, and I saw that it had a tray of just raw chicken sitting with vegetables. Although I wasn't that involved in catering as much as I was a few years ago, I still knew this was disgusting and a clear breach of food safety. I quickly snap a picture of everything that was just absolutely disgusting and against health and safety regulations and took as many photos as I could. Somehow, some of the photos got corrupted, so I only had 2 of them. Fast forward to the next week, and I asked my boss again when I was getting paid. This was getting close to Christmas, so I kinda needed the money for presents. He also owed me about 160 pounds at this point, as I did some overtime. And told me that if I came to see him on Saturday morning coming up, it was a Thursday, then he'd be able to pay me then. I messaged him on the Saturday morning asking where he was, and he just replied with a "be there in 5." 30 minutes passed, and he finally shows up and gives me 50 pounds in cash, and basically started to walk off. I asked him about the other 100 pounds and basically just said that the shop was being closed for some electrical reworks and that he'd be able to pay me then. Now my mom walks past this cafe on her way back from work and taking my sister to hockey training, and every time she did, she saw the place open with a few people, not customers, just chilling. She tells me, and I'm annoyed, so I plot. My mate just suggested jokingly to put a brick through his windows, then ask for the money, or to just report him both to environmental health and the tax man, as he was paying me cash in hand with no wage slip. Basically, he was paying me illegally and tax-free. I couldn't go to the tax man as I'd be effing myself over too, but I liked the idea of environmental health. Still had those pics. I make a report and received a response basically saying how they'd look into it and that they were grateful as this was actually the second store he owned that had been reported. The first one was closed, but not told why. A week or so passes, and basically the shop is never opened, and my mate looks into the charges that we knew he'd get along with any others that he may get. Needless to say, it's most likely more than 100 quid. And our second story. No work, no problem. Some background. I'm a freelance translator, have lots of experience because I studied in the US for a few years and even got a part-time translating job in an office for some times. Got hired on this job because my father knew the CEO of the company and vouched for my ability. She took the offer partly because my rate is lower than people working in agency/company and my experience level is even higher. And now the story. My job in this case is to translate face-to-face plus the necessary documents/statements from both sides. The representative, let's call him Bone, of the big company wanted to sign a big construction contract with the CEO's company. She shall be less from now on. Problem is, the procedures and the methods are very intricate and hard to understand, so it took a few days for both parties to understand everything together. During that time, I got more acquainted with the staff of Les's company. They were all chill and appreciated my professional attitude and mannerism. I did not use my phone or anything unrelated while working to prevent distraction, and I tried to be cordial with everyone, all except one manager who shall be A-Wipe, or AW, whom for some reason got very pissy about the whole deal of me being here. I did notice his glances, but was pretty busy, so I just forgot about it. Then one day, when I head to the break room, I hear him berating me for being pretentious and obnoxious and whatever else. I had very minimal contact with him, and my job sure did not cross paths with his or anything. He shut up when I walked by. In my head, I got a bit annoyed, but soon went back to work. Now, after a few days of smoothing out the contract details and policies, it was time for the real meeting. Money. Everything we've done would mean nada if there's no fund to back it up, and this delightful procedure took much longer than the previous. One day, both Bone and Les went to see a big bank together for negotiation. Les stated that I can stay back at the company and be ready to note/translate whatever document or even phone calls if needed. The bank apparently prepared a translator of their own. Essentially, it was a free pass to sit back and relax, but still getting paid. So I said, okay, because why the hell not? I sat on a sofa in the lounge playing some solitaire on my phone for a while. Then suddenly I got messages from Les to translate the document in the picture she sent. The document wasn't urgent or anything, but they'd be back soon and would like to go through the document together before dark. So I typed away on the phone before sending it to a worker to print out. Lo and behold, the AW manager came by and saw me typing on my phone. He slid over to me like it's his mom's DMs or some crap and started lecturing me on professionalism at work. Then the AW took my phone away and said I can get it back after work as a lesson. Few things. I'm not his subordinate and not a direct employee of the company. Therefore, their rules do not apply to me. That's my crap, and I hated it when people take my crap away. But I decided to just stay quiet and threw my hands up like, fine, I give up, you won. The AW got the grin on and commended me for being a bright kid. Bone and Les came back after half an hour, and Les was surprised that I did not have the document translated and ready yet, asked me why, and I told her that AW took my phone away to teach me professionalism. Suffice to say, she was not happy. So while she stormed off to AW, I entertained Bone for a while. Pretty chill guy outside of work. After a few minutes, Les came back with AW visibly shaken behind. He returned my phone and apologized for what he did. I just pretended to not express anything on my face, but secretly was hiding a massive grin. Went back to work, but it got dark and work was postponed to the next day. Later on, I heard from other workers that Les gave AW a 20-minute talk on what he did, plus some of the formal complaints about him. Imagine your boss reaming you for doing a bad job. Now imagine that the final boss is personally breathing down your neck on the same matter. I knew when he took my phone away, I could have said a number of things to stop him and continue my work, but me being an absolute C, sometimes maybe, I decided to have some fun with him. I later explained it all to Bone, and he got a good laugh out of it. AW never gave me any crap from then on. He tried to stay as far away from me as possible. Job went on as normal, and I collected my paycheck at the end. Few weeks after I left, he was demoted back down a few rungs, and his record was stained. Heard that one from Les herself. And our last story. My dad's ultimate revenge on an entitled family. Backstory. My dad is a high school assistant principal. It's currently his first year at a new school, and it's a much better school than the last one he was at. There were fights almost every week, and my dad had to suspend kids almost every day. His new school is much better, with just 2 incidents all year. Cast. My dad, entitled girl, entitled mother, entitled brother, entitled sister, the bus driver, judge, bus driver / school systems lawyer, the EM's lawyer, my dad's principal, and the school cop. To clarify, any dialogue I might include will obviously not be 100% correct. The original incident took place about 2 months ago. I'm not 100% sure what started it, but either the bus driver accidentally bumped into entitled girl while he was dropping her off, or he told off entitled girl for saying something rude, but she got PO'd and texted entitled mom about it. Entitled mom came out of her home and started yelling at him, so he just drove off. The next morning, the bus driver went to pick up entitled girl, but when he got to her driveway, she wasn't there. Entitled mom, entitled brother, and entitled sister were. He opened the door to ask where entitled girl was, and that's when all 3 of them boarded the bus. Entitled girl is a junior, I think. Her older brother was around 22. Her older sister was in college. These people were all adults, and all 3 of them started screaming at the poor bus driver, threatening him, calling him slurs, and telling him off. The rest of the kids on the bus were expectedly scared. The moment the 3 of them got off the bus driver sped away. The one thing the entitled family forgot to think about was the fact that there are 4 HD cameras equipped with audio sensors on every bus in our county. They caught everything. The poor dude got the rest of the kids to school and went straight to the front office. My dad was PO'd. He got the video feed from the bus, called his school cop, who called some other cops, and had entitled mother's butt arrested for malicious harassment, intimidation, trespassing, and a few other things. My dad's principal let my dad have control over the whole situation because he knows my dad does not F around with these kind of things. So my dad helped the bus driver get some revenge. First, he had entitled girl switch to a different bus route so she couldn't mess with the bus driver anymore. Then he had entitled brother, entitled sister, and entitled mother permanently banned from the school grounds. And then he gave the bus driver a month of paid time off. These were just petty revenge, if that. Working with their lawyer, my dad got statements from most of the kids who were on the bus, and they decided to press charges only against entitled mother and entitled brother, who had apparently been in the middle of a 6-month probationary period for a different crime, so he was essentially guaranteed jail time. Going into the trial, 6 weeks ago, nobody expected EM to get any more jail time than a week, if that. My dad, his principal, and the school cop were all in the courthouse in case they needed to be called as witnesses. They were not. Their lawyer made his remarks, and entitled mom's lawyer just tried to get her sentence reduced. He knew they were going to lose. The videos weren't even shown to the judge because there was so much other evidence. But the judge surprised everyone when he gave entitled mom a 30-day sentence. He made it very clear to her that she had threatened the life of a man, endangered kids, and trespassed on school property for no reason besides that the bus driver had told off entitled girl and that she should be punished accordingly. My dad and his principal were trying not to cheer, but that wasn't even the best part. Entitled brother skipped his trial. They were back-to-back trials, so there's no way he could have forgotten. The judge immediately issued a bench warrant for his arrest. He was caught the next day in entitled mother's house, and when brought in front of the judge, he was given a year in prison for breaking his probation, skipping his trial, and for the same charges as his mother. As for entitled girl, she switched schools. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one.